Worship. John 4:20 through 24. I would speak with you now about the meaning of worship, and why there has been, down through the ages, a calling within you to worship. For truly there is a calling deep within you to which you are responding, a calling which you have felt for countless ages of time, a calling deep within you which recognizes there is something more than what you see yourself to be as the individual, something more than what you see as the world around you and all of its activity. In a long time ago, in the evolution of a specific focus, your identification with specific creation, you allowed a dimming of your remembrance of the Father, the Creator, and you began to look outside of yourself for your source. There was a calling to worship the god or gods, the goddesses, the forces of nature, anything which was not understood or was perceived to be greater than you, and certain concepts are still held today. True worship means to recognize worth, for indeed your word worship is a shortened form of worth-ship. Look it up in your book of words. It comes from the root meaning the same as worth or value. Now, for a long, long time, you have worshipped that which you saw of worth beyond yourself, not recognizing it within yourself and not seeing too much of worth in the brothers and sisters, except the ones who could claim themselves to be the next to God or next to me, in a hierarchy that placed them a bit higher than you and in connection with God. For the last 2,000 years in your timing, I have been placed upon a pedestal by many of you. Not all who are activating the bodies and walking the face of our Holy Mother the Earth hold to this lineage, but many have placed me far above themselves, seen me as the very Son of God, which I am, and putting themselves down, not understanding that we are truly brothers. Have I wanted to be worshipped? Yes, but not in the way of duality which would say that I am above you and separate and far off from you. I wanted to be worshipped in equality, and not an equality which would take me down from the right hand of God the Father, but rather would raise you up. Now it is time to worship with true understanding, to worship yourself as well as me. Yes, I do want to be worshipped in what I want you to understand and recognize, and realize my true worth as the holy child of the Father. And I want you also to recognize your true worth, and to raise yourself up in that understanding and realization. And by raising yourself up to that realization, then to extend all to all brothers and sisters, those activating the human form, those activating the animal form, the plants, the trees, everything that is of life. There is a recording within your scriptures where I spoke to a woman at a well, and we spoke about worship, when she remarked that her forefathers had worshipped in the mountain rather than in Jerusalem for generations. I said to her, "Woman, believe me, and I say this to you now, for you are awakening. The hour cometh when you shall neither in this mountain nor yet in Jerusalem worship the Father. For at that time it was believed that it was necessary to go to a sacred place such as a mountain or such a Jerusalem in order to worship. It is the same in this day and time when many will believe that you must go to a church, a synagogue, a religious order and place to worship. But I say unto you that you can worship the Father out on the water, out on the golf course, out in nature, even in your workplace. Think about that for a moment. Worship the Father. When I use the word Father, I used a word which is not in your language today. I used the word Abba, which strictly translated meant Father. But as you know, words have many meanings, many nuances of meaning. And the word Abba, a most wonderful word which carries with it much love, meant the source of all, the loving point of creation, or beginning, the parent, yes, the Father, yes. But more than that, what you would see just as the Father, Abba carries with it the meaning of allness. The source from which you have sprung is an extension even to this day and time. When you read the word God in your scriptures, substitute the word Abba. When you read the word Father in your scriptures, substitute in your mind the word Abba and know that it means much more. It is not a strict translation. To continue, I said unto her, Believe me, the hour cometh, when you shall neither in this mountain, nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. You worship you know not what. This has been true for a very long time. There is a deep feeling within one to worship. It is indeed the feeling of wanting to come home. It is the feeling of wanting to awaken. It is the feeling of wanting to realize truly who you are. That feeling has led to a perceived need to worship, And down through the ages, worship then has taken many forms, many ceremonies, many rituals, much done in separation. But the motivation for worship has come from that deep inner desire to know Abba, to know your source, to know and realize your true being. And for so long you have worshipped that which you know not. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipper shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him. Now the Father does not want to go out as a parent trying to find the child so that the child may worship him. Abba does not go out seeking you to remember him and to worship him as something beyond and above and greater than you. But Abba does go out as an energy field, as a magnet, that is good analogy, seeking you in your heart of hearts to respond to that magnetic energy, to awaken, and to worship him truly. In other words, to come to the true understanding of your worth. To worship him, yes, to recognize and know the worth of Abba, but also to know your worth as an extension of that dynamic, expanding energy. The isness characterized, as we have spoken many times, by the concept of love. God is spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Now when it is spoken that God, Abba, is spirit, it means that it is energy beyond what is known in this plane. That is why the word spirit was used. It meant that which is beyond what is known here in this reality. For you speak of the spirits of the loved ones who have gone on. You speak of the spirits of the guardian angels. You speak of the spirits of the ancestors. You speak of spirits as being beyond this plane of reality. Abba, God the Father, is spirit and must be worshipped in spirit. In other words, you must recognize his true meaning in order to worship Abba. You must recognize that which is beyond this reality. You must catch a glimpse of how extended, how unlimited it is, and recognize the worth of that unlimited extension to the place where there is a great, great awe and celebration. That is true worship. All other worship is a vain ritual. All other worship is empty words. You have come through lifetimes, even in this lifetime, of knowing ceremonies and rituals where you would say over and over the correct words, and yet you did not feel your heart was touched or open. When you come to the place of the true realization of your worth, when you come to the place of the true realization of what it means to be an extension of Abba, then you live in worship. Your life becomes a daily activity of worship, not having to go down on the knees and to worship in that way, but beholding the Christ in everyone. True worship, then, becomes a way of life, an ongoing understanding of true worth. It is not just something that you do on one day of the week, one day of the month, one day or two out of the year, which are set aside as sacred holidays. It is what you do in every day as you begin to realize who and what you are, beloved and wonderful child of the Father.